hanging out with my Norfolk pine here, and I want to tell you a story. I love this story. This is one of my favorite stories about change, about the stages of change, how change really works, and especially good if you're wondering, like, worrying, are you going to fall backwards in your journey, or you're just wondering, where the hell am I? Here it is. Story of life in 5 chapters. Okay. Chapter number 1. Man walks down the street. He's having a great fucking day. It's a beautiful day. He's just captivated. Maybe he's in his thoughts. Maybe he's pondering, worrying, something. You know, he's up here. He's walking, and suddenly his foot slips, and he falls into a deep, dark hole. A deep, deep, deep hole. The kind of hole that as he's falling, he's banging and hitting himself. And by the time he crashes, he's nearly unconscious. It's overwhelming. He comes to eventually. Sense of time is missing. He comes to and realizes, where the hell am I? He feels all alone. And it's a terrible, cold, dark place. A place that's eerily familiar and painful, uncomfortable, and there seems to be no way out. Somehow he gets out. It takes him a long fucking time. Eventually, it's a combination of a lot of things that get him out of there. Chapter 2, same guy. Man walks down the street. And then this time he's like, hey, I've been down the street before. I smell things in the air. I'm having these thoughts. I'm distracted, but something's up. Something's going on. And then, whoa! And he falls into that same hole again. Fuck. This time he's cursing, and he's like, oh man, I've been here before. I knew it. I knew it was that street. I knew there's something was wrong. Oh man, he's so mad at himself. He's banging his head against the ground and side, and he's trying to think about how, you know, he's blaming himself. He's blaming society, the situation. He's calling out for help, desperate. Eventually, he settles, and he starts to wonder, how the hell did I get out the last time? How the fuck did I get out? He's still really, really upset. And eventually, you know, he goes through and tries to figure out, oh yeah, did I do this? Oh, I can't go out this way. And I called for help. Nobody answered. I had to use some skills and tools and a combination of things. I had to call the right people. And it takes him forever. But this time he's getting out, and he's watching every step of how he's climbing out of that hole. Chapter number 3. Same guy walks down the street, and this time he's like hyper aware, right? He's like hyper alert. Oh, I know this street. Oh, I know there's a hole around here. And he's like super vigilant, right? And then, oh, look at that. He sees the hole. He sees it, and it's so sneaky. Like, he was walking, and then it's like really close by the time he sees it, but it's like, I got it. And then he's just curious, and he has to look, and he's just like, well, I don't have to not go down this way. I'm free. No one can tell me what to do. I can get close to this. I'm fine. I'm in control. And he gets close to that hole, and he slips. He bangs his head. He falls in. Ow! Ow! And this time, he wastes no time. No time for blame. No time for confusion. And it just, fuck. He looks around. He goes, okay, I know what I need to do. And he starts climbing his way out. He's calling for help. He's using all of his tools. And then by the time he gets up out of that hole, he's exhausted. And he's just like so fucking grateful that he's out of that hole. And so surprised that he got in anyway, and he just crawls out, gets home. Chapter 4. Same guy. Man walks down the street. He's like, He's not fooling around this time. He knows the street. He knows the signs that come before the hole comes. And he knows the delusion of, I could just get close to it and it's not a big deal. He keeps far around that hole. He's like, oh man. He starts telling people, hey guys, watch out for that hole, man. It's fucking dangerous. If you need help, call me. He starts to be that guy. I know that hole really well. Here's my number if you fall in. He goes around it and he hopes that other people don't fall in, and he knows that they will, and he feels for them. Big relief. He gets past that corner where the hole is. He gets beyond it. He keeps moving. But he's really watchful, and he's full of compassion. Chapter 5. There's one more. Same guy. Man walks down a different street. Now, I know in some ways the story is very simplistic. Can we really avoid all the things that lead us to somewhere, to fall into something? Maybe not, but for the sake of understanding change, habit change, deep change, the things we do over and over again that either make us feel really nourished and healthy or toxic and depleted and unhappy. I want you to feel into this story and ask yourself, where am I in my life in terms of chapter 1? I don't even know there's a hole. I'm blissfully ignorant, or just so captivated, so unaware. And if we're honest, it's not just in the past. You could say, I didn't know anything about sleep or exercise or anything, and I just had these bad habits, but now look at me, I'm Mr., doing everything right. No, there's always place in our life where we're in denial, where we're not aware. Hey, there could be like beautiful change going on, and there's something that is less than healthy. Unless we're fully enlightened beings, let's be humble. Where in our life are we in chapter 2? Where we're aware of this thing that we don't like, that we keep going to, and we get really mad at ourselves. And when we're in that place, can we bring compassion? Yeah, it makes sense why we fall into that hole. Maybe that's the only path that we were ever taught to take in life. Maybe that's the path we thought led to belonging or joy or freedom. And then we discover, no, that path leads to addiction. That path leads to conformity and people-pleasing, or something that we discover more and more actually has more costs than benefits. But we didn't know that, right? We didn't know that growing up. If we knew a better path that was more fulfilling, with less pain in it, wouldn't we have chosen that? And where in our life are we in chapter 3? Oh, we were getting pretty good at like using our skills, our agency, our choice, working those muscles to change the tide. And it takes effort and commitment and support from so many people and places. Can we be grateful that we're there? And be honest about what got us there. It wasn't just cleverness or some unique superpower. It was a grace of many elements, many people coming together to help us, and our own courage and wisdom. And where are we in chapter 4? Where we have something to give and teach others. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, what a humbling, beautiful place to be. And can we be compassionate towards others instead of looking down on them? Hey, I solved that problem. What's your problem? Why is it so hard for you? No. Can we be honest and go, wow, We didn't get to chapter 4 like that. It wasn't just insight. Somebody didn't give us a talk. We fell down that hole many, many times, and we got out of that hole through lots of efforts and supports. And damn, is it good to be outside of that and to be able to resist the temptation. There's always temptation. There's always a secondary gain, a hook, some sweet siren telling you, no, this time it will be different. This time it will be wonderful. And we've learned to resist that. We have this wisdom, hard-earned. And where in our life are we? Chapter 5. Holy cow. What an incredible journey. In some places in our lives, we can get that far. We've done that much learning. Wow. What I feel awe when I'm there. And I feel joy and, again, gratitude and compassion to others. And this is a grace from some greater being that's allowed me to be there. But that doesn't make it any less real and difficult and challenging for others who are still behind us. Can we do something to pass the elevator down? To pay it forward? Yeah? And then at the end of the day, to remember that we can have victories and celebrate, and there are still places where we are in chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, 4, 5. We're in all those places with different things, different parts of ourselves. I hope this story gives you some solace, some clarity, and inspiration that we're human. We're on this journey. Let's share the wealth of our stories, of our experience, of our discoveries. Why hoard it? Hold on to it. Life is quite the adventure, better than any TV show. So let's share it. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy this.